Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something that's been bothering me ever since I finished watching the 1000-Year Blood War arc of Bleach. This video is going to be all about Head Captain Yamamoto, specifically why I think his pride and refusal to change is the main reason why he died. As a Bleach fan, this kind of hits a little hard because Yamamoto is the de facto, he is Soul Society, right? But I've got some thoughts I want to share. And I'd love to hear yours too, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy deep dive anime discussions like this. I'm getting real close to my 1000 subscriber goal, and every bit helps. Seriously, I really appreciate you all. So let me start with this. Yamamoto was powerful. Nobody is arguing that. But in the 1000-Year Blood War arc, his pride was just a little too much. It felt like he thought he was the only one who could protect Soul Society. And that mindset, in my opinion, ended up being dangerous and his downfall. He walked into the fight with Yhwach thinking his Bankai alone would win the battle. But he didn't plan for tricks or traps. And when the real Yhwach showed up, that was it. Game over. Which doesn't really make much sense to me considering how difficult the fight against Aizen was, because Aizen was literally using tricks and traps and everything under the sun. So you would think, for an enemy that Yamamoto has fought before, he would come in 20 times more prepared. And what really frustrated me was how he didn't ask Orihime to heal his arm. She was right there during the Fate Karakura arc when he lost his arm. That one arm could have made a huge difference in battle, especially in a fight where every second counts. And I'm sorry, but you missing an entire arm, that's a problem, my guy. It's almost like he was too proud to be seen as weak or in need of help, and I also think because Orihime is human, I almost think like Yamamoto kind of had like a god complex, like I will not be asking a human for help. But if you want my opinion, real strength isn't about going solo, it's about knowing when to lean on others. I honestly don't think he really had it in him to humble himself like that. I don't think it was in character. Some folks say otherwise, that he just grew soft over the years, but I don't really see any evidence of that. Another issue is he didn't take the Sternritter threat seriously fast enough. When Ichigo was trapped and everything was starting to fall apart, it felt like Yamamoto was a few steps behind. If he had acted earlier, set up defenses, warned the other captains, and made a plan, we might have seen a different outcome. Instead, he waited, and Soul Society paid for it dearly. Heavy casualties, some of the strongest captains lost their Bankai, one of them damn near died. The first invasion was no joke for the captains, I'll tell y'all that. Look, I get it, Yhwach and the Quincy's literally killed a ton of Soul Reapers during that first invasion, but Yamamoto let that anger take over. Especially, I know that he was grieving over the loss of Chojuro, but he jumped into the battle filled with rage, not strategy. That's not how a leader should move. And I remember watching the scene when he was fighting Yhwach, like, bro, you're falling into a trap. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Now, I didn't know that it was a fake Yhwach. I just knew it was just a bit too good to be true, right? And because he was so filled with anger, I think that he didn't think things through. And that's what cost him his life. And like, ultimately, I think that he really fell into that trap of just his anger and rage and just thinking that he was the biggest, baddest person like in the verse. It caught up with him. Something else I gotta bring up. Yamamoto waited way too long to properly train Kenpachi. I know Central 46 didn't like the idea, but Yamamoto was the head captain. If he really thought Kenpachi had potential, he should have stepped in and made that call earlier. Why are we waiting centuries to get Kenpachi up to snuff? And it should not have taken Unohana to die to get Kenpachi to unlock his true powers. That's my personal opinion. Imagine if Kenpachi had been trained and refined before the war started. Not just a wild fighter, but a real freaking weapon for the Soul Society. Something that they can count on reliably. That could have changed everything, and I feel like Yamamoto just kept him in a box, hoping he'd never have to use him at full strength. And clearly that was a mistake, because you saw how Kenpachi took out those first few Sternritters, like clearly took them out, and he kind of lived up to his reputation about being a Kenpachi, but then when he fought the fake Yhwach, he got washed. I can't picture the Kenpachi that fought against Unohana fighting that fake Yhwach losing that fast, if that makes sense. Speaking of Unohana, keeping her locked up in the Squad 4 barracks as just a healer and sitting back while everyone else is essentially getting slaughtered, I felt like was just such a waste. She was one of the strongest captains in history. I'm not just talking about her healing, but her combat ability. I get that he wanted like some stability, you know, while everyone's fighting. He would have the Squad 4 Soul Reapers kind of come in after the fact and play cleanup. But when it's time for war, Unohana should have been on the front lines, helping the wounded, holding the line, and she could have done both. She could have literally been healing and fighting at the same time. Forcing her to sit down on the sidelines was another bad call that, in my opinion, hurt the Soul Society's overall battle prowess when it needed her the most. Now here's something I've really been thinking about. What if Yamamoto had been a bit more humble? What if he had taken time to heal, made a plan, and fought smart instead of angrily? In my opinion, he could have lasted a bit longer. Maybe even helped turn the tide of the war early on, and hell, maybe he would have ran Yhwach and its Quincy's up out of Soul Society before he even got to the Soul King. But instead, he let his title and his reputation get in the way. I really wish we could have seen a more focused and balanced version of Yamamoto. That would have been fire. Literally and figuratively. See, you guys, I'm a comedian low-key, because Ryujin Jinjaka, fire, Yamamoto, that's like his whole shtick. Get it? Ha? No one's laughing with me? Okay, moving on. So yeah, I know this might sound harsh, but this is how I feel. Yamamoto was a legend, but in the 1,000-Year Blood War, his own mindset worked against him. That doesn't take away from how great he was, it just shows that even legends in the verse can make mistakes. And Ichibe, we looking at you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you think he should have asked for help? Or do you think he did what he had to do? I really want to know your thoughts. And if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out my Bleach discussion playlist to dive deeper into the series with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. Hey y'all, welcome back to the